Hello, my creative friends. My name is Heather North. You can find me on Instagram at Heather's Creative Blessings. Today is Monday, December 5th, 2022, and I am here with a new Flosstube video for you. It's been about a month since my last video, so I'll be sharing all of the stitchy things, all of the cross stitch pieces I've been working on, and any finishes. I will be sharing some of my life updates, haul, plans, goals, where I've been, what's been going on, all the things. So grab whatever it is you want to stitch on and something to drink and settle on in. Let's have a chat. So I'm going to start where I often start, with WIPGO. So WIPGO, well, let me back up just a second because I'm still getting this question. In the comment section down below, either there's an arrow or 3 dots or something where I can leave comments. I will link to any other Flosstube videos or Flosstube channels that I mention. I try and also include all of the patterns that I'm working on and things like that. So there's a lot of information in there. Make sure you're looking at that if there's something that I mentioned and you want to go check it out, see if it's there. And if I forgot it, please leave me a comment or message me to let me know. I'm only human. I sometimes forget. But I do try and list everything down below, including this. Jessie Marie does stuff. She is the person who came up with WIPGO. This is my 3rd year doing it. The first year I jumped in partway through. And so it's basically a bingo board that you create with your whips, mainly cross stitch, but you could use this kind of idea for any projects that you have that you want to see get closer to a finish. It's your board, your rules, but you use kind of like a bingo card and you put different projects or the same project multiple times in each of those slots, and then you have goals for when those numbers are called. At the end of the month, Jessie calls the numbers for the next month, and that can be your focus, whether it's for WIPGO weekend, whether it's all month long, whether it's till the end of the year, because you might put yearly goals in there. Your board, your rules. I'll let you go check Jessie Marie out and find out more from her. Each year I've changed it and adapted it, and this year is no exception. And I already have some ideas for next year. One of the things that I have found personally, I love goals. I'm very goal oriented. I've never been very good at like making resolutions. To me, that's just it's too strict, and it's almost like it's daunting to think of this whole year of not doing, or for the rest of your life not doing. But setting goals and reaching them, working towards something, that highly motivates me. So I do like that part of WIPGO. I like a little bit that it's random because especially that first year, I put in things that I wanted to make sure I got touched throughout the year because I was feeling this pressure to get everything done. I couldn't get everything done. And so if you're feeling that pressure, WIPGO can kind of release that because you put your projects in a number and then you don't have to worry about it until the month that number is called, if that makes any sense. But my struggle with that is that I am a seasonal stitcher. And that means I like to work pretty close to in season, maybe a little bit before. When the weather changes, I kind of feel that urge to work on the next season's thing. Sometimes not till right at it. So Christmas, I kind of want to give Thanksgiving its due. And so I don't start until December with Christmas usually stitching, but I carry it out into a couple weeks into January because I'm still feeling that, and I move into winter, you know. So for me, seasonal is really important. The problem with WIPGO is a number is called. So say it is the middle of January and they call fall. I'm not feeling fall. I'm maybe ready for spring, but not fall. So what I think I'm going to do going forward in the next year is, instead of doing just projects, I will put some projects in, I'm sure, because some can go any time of year. But I think I'm also going to just put seasonal stitch and then have a goal for the seasonal stitch. So if the number is called, I had a little coughing spell. If the number is called, I will look, let's say it's called in summer. I will look through my summer WIPs and choose one of them, and then look at the goal. So the goal may be work on it for 3 days. It may be put in 500 stitches. It may be work on your WIP closest to the finish and finish it. Whatever my goal is for that piece, I'll just choose a project to go with it, if that makes sense. So it's partly getting more things done and partly having more control, I guess, over what I'm stitching. I don't know. That's kind of the thoughts that are running around in my head. And I will say this, what I have typically done in the past and what I plan to do this year as well is at the end of the year, I'll do a WIP parade and I'll show all of my WIPs for 2022, where I am at with my WIPs, a finish parade showing all of my finishes that I have and that I can find, as well as FFOs, fully finished objects. And I'll do a video on that, as well as plans. And sometimes I mix in that plans with like the first video of the year. Here are my goals and my plans and my ideas for 2023. However, I like watching other YouTubers when I have the chance, and not even just about cross stitch, but in general, and getting ideas from them on things that I can do. And so I will be sharing throughout this video and the next one, I'll just be sharing some of my thoughts and ideas. It's not that anything's set in stone, but you can start thinking about what you want to do if you're that type of person that likes to plan ahead, but what you want to do for 2023. All right, back to Jessie Marie. So we're in December. That means all of the numbers have been called. For October, let me go back to, I'm on the wrong page here. I'm showing my stats. I guess I could do that because I have this page open. Since it has been a month-ish since my last video, my November stats, I had 2 finishes, 2 piddly little finishes, but that brings me to 48 for the year. I'm thinking 52 finishes this year would be really cool. I don't know if I have 4 more projects that I could get to a finish this month, but if I did, that would mean a finish a week, which I think is incredible. I know that others can do way more than that, but for me, that is huge. So 48 is still a really good number. I didn't have any FFOs. I got 1 bag, and I'll show that. I didn't actually make the bag, but I stitched on the bag. So that brings me to 9 bags for the year. I can't remember what my goal was for the bags. FFOs, my goal was to do 1 a month, and I have 17 FFOs. That means I've finished more than 1 a month, which is really good too. And I do have some things that need to be FFO'd. I have a lot of things I need to do. I have a lot of catching up on, and that's not a fun place to be, but it also means some things are really close. So if I get them off my plate and get them finished, I will be very happy about that. Okay, back to WIPGO. You know why? It's probably not in that book. It's probably here. And I'm just going to show you this. This is my messy WIPGO board. You can see here I am 3 things away, 3 goals, I guess, away from having a blackout board. And this, so I have 2. They were the same WIPGO board, but one is the name of the pieces I'm working on. The other are the different goals. And I'll just leave this here so you can kind of look. And I know I've written all over it, but you can see what my goals are. So the things that are left. So November was actually the 2 things that were called in November, I did early in the year. So it's really funny. I did it probably in January or February, but they are the 12 days of Stitchy ornaments. And I thought I would share those with you because, you know, it's almost Christmas time. Do I have some of it? This is the bonus one. So this is something that Erica made. Erica made designs. I think it's Erica Art on YouTube. I will try and link her. She put out, I think it was 12 Days of Christmas, and it may have been free when she first did it, or was a low-cost PDF. Maybe this one was free and the rest you paid for. I can't really remember. But I wanted to do them all. I changed the colors. I plan on finishing them in a hoop, but for now, here, these are going to be more than just these ornaments. And if I think, yeah, so I'll try and remember what else I did. But we have things like the stocking. Okay, this is the one I just showed you, Joy. The snowman. Actually, if I got all these done, I'd be way over my goal of FFOs, right? The house, isn't that cute? The smoke is in the shape of a, or in the shape of a heart. I did this on an iridescent, I don't know, linen or Jobelin, Lugana. I'm not really sure what I did it on, but it does have that sparkle weaved into it, which I love because I don't love stitching on it, but I love that things that kind of sparkle on the Christmas tree because it catches the little lights. By the way, I just decorated a little bit for Christmas. Don't let me forget to share some of the pieces up here I want to share with you. There's the little coffee mug. I think I changed the colors on that. Ornament. This was from somebody else, I'm pretty sure. And I printed out lots of freebies. So be on the lookout for freebie little patterns that you can get from your favorite places. I mean, your favorite designers. Sorry, my phone keeps going off and I keep getting notifications popping up and it's distracting me. And then the last one is like a quilt block star. So yeah, I have way more things that I want to decorate, but life has been so busy. That was one of my WIPGO goals for November. When I get a WIPGO, because sometimes I do finish my pieces a little bit early. When I do that, what I do is I pick another WIP on my board and either work towards finishing that or if I have any WIPs that aren't yet complete, I will work on those. Okay, and then the other one is Christmas Eve. And this is one, I did finish Christmas Eve pretty early in the year, but it's a whole series and I do want to get to the whole series. So I'm just going to show these to you because you may be looking for some ideas of things to stitch. These are all from Hands On Design. I think it is called the Christmas Eve series, no, White Christmas series. So this one is North Pole Trading Company. This one is Deer Tier. Oopsies, falling. Noel. Luminaria Lane. Yeah, I think that's right. Cut and Carry. Reindeer Games. Christmas Eve. This is the one that was on my WIPGO goal. I think it's the first one that I did. Tree Farm. I also did this one. And Zinc House Row. So I put these, I'm using the called for colors. They are all by Hands On Design. I'm working on the same piece of Color and Cotton Cobblestone Lugana 28 count. Whoops, I almost just showed you the back and that was on the front. Don't want to see my back. I really like this cobblestone. Okay, so this one here, that's Christmas Eve. Colors again. We have had snow. It's Monday. And yesterday my husband said, it snowed every day this week. And I said, yes, honey, it has. It's only Sunday. But it has been snowing here. It snows in the morning, sometimes in the evening. And then it kind of melts away. There's still a little bit of snow on the grass and some of the trees, but it's been kind of slushy snow, but it's been in the 30s, so it hasn't completely melted away. Anyways, there's the tree farm. And if you remember, if you've seen the past ones, I put established 2007 because that's when we bought the house that we're currently living in. And we planted, there was nothing here. It used to be a log yard. They call it log yard estates because it used to be just a bunch of trees and they logged them all and then constructed houses. But we planted a bunch of trees on our lot because we just love the trees. And then that's that Zinc House Row. So I met my goal, but I still kept this out and kept adding to it. And I think that North Pole Trading Company is going to be the next one that I do. I think. But you never know. Yeah. All right. By the way, this bag and the last bag were all from Dot Dot Goose Designs. They were all from, what was before that? Oh, I guess these are the only two I've shown so far. But very cute. Love having those seasonal things, especially in project bags, because I can really quickly see what is my Christmas. Okay. For December, the numbers called, by the way, both of the goals for those were to finish. Okay, so the numbers called were 23, which is Basket of Cherries by Blackbird Designs. My goal was to get it to finish. It is finished. I forgot to bring it downstairs. I will try and share it in my finish parade at the end of the year, okay? But that one was done way early on, or at some point. I don't even know when it was done, but it's been done for a while. And then December number 4 is Votes for Women. My plan was to pull this out, and I think I did just put a couple of stitches in on the day we vote. But this pattern, Votes for Women by the Nebby needle, was the 100th anniversary of when women gained the right to vote in all 50 states in America. And so I'm changing some of the colors because that's what I do. This is on a piece of Jobelin. I think it's Sandcastle. I'm not 100% sure. I need to grab my little board here to put this on. So I think I put in just a little bit of stitches on voting day, but I don't know. My goal is just to get one woman done, and I don't think at the beginning of the year I'd even finished the whole border at the top, but yeah, my one woman is pretty pathetic. She's got a head and half of her chest, I guess. So this is Votes for Women. This is the one thing that may tie me up from getting a complete blackout. I should just sit down and do it because, let me look real quick. It's about 100, 200, 3, probably only 300 stitches, which would only be, 2.5, 3 hours at most. There's not even that much color change. It might not even take me that long. So I really should just buckle down and do it, but it's not calling to me. That's the great thing about the WIPGO board, though. Even though this isn't calling to me, having a complete blackout on my board, yeah, that calls to me. That's the little bit of OCD in me that doesn't like leaving things unfinished. So, like, I can leave it unfinished a little bit, but when you see something and that board has to be finished in 2022 and it's like one thing left, yeah. Okay, so the other two things that aren't completely done, I didn't grab it, and I have worked on it. I have to get some more things in a little bit, so I'll try and grab it in a little bit. That is Winter Rose Manor. My goal for the year is to do 1,000 stitches. I think I am at 600 or 700. I had hoped to get to a point where when that number was called, all I would have is the house, because it's this huge house and there's, it'd be easier to get the 1,000 stitches because it's all the same color, basically, except for the windows. But I haven't even gotten down to the house yet. The border has taken me a while, and just adjusting to 32 count with that and wanting to spend my time with it and really loving it, but it's white, and so I don't want to bring it out and I'm using silks, which are a little bit, well, they're silky, a little bit fiddlier to use because they're so smooth. I don't want to work on it when the dogs are up and around because I don't want to get their dog hair on it. So I'm not done with that yet. Oh, I got a tickle in my throat. My husband was really sick. I'll give a little bit of life update here. We went to, he's okay, he's fine. We went down to California for my family meeting, and he came with me. And of course, we're down in California. There's different allergies, there's burning, and so we had a little bit of that. We came home on Tuesday. Wednesday, we both had to work. We didn't get a lot of sleep while we were gone, but I do have cute pictures to show of my nieces, so I'll try to remember to put that in there too. We came home and, oh my goodness, after work, I got off at 2, maybe, on Wednesday, came home, picked him up, and then we went to the grocery store because our turkey was still frozen in the ice chest. Oh, it was, so we went shopping for Thanksgiving dinner, looking for a turkey the day before Thanksgiving, literally. And we had decided if we couldn't find what we needed, we would just do it over the weekend. But I had to work over the weekend, so that didn't really appeal to me. It's fine. It's all good. But Thursday, I think he was okay-ish. Friday, he started to not feel well. By Saturday, he was really sick. Sunday, he was really sick. He took 3 days off of work, which he never does. He should have taken the whole week. Was sick all week long. And then Saturday night, so basically at this point, it's been like 2 weeks without us being able to sleep through the night because his coughing wakes me up, of course. And he did sleep some in the chair in the other room, but wherever he's most comfortable, I felt like he should be able to sleep. So Saturday night was the first night he really slept through the night in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It was closer to 3 weeks for me because before I go on a trip, my mind just goes with everything I need to do. So a little bit run down. I'm feeling okay except for that tickle that just will not go away. And today he's doing much better, but ooh, I'm coughing. This is not a good sign because I have to work tomorrow and Wednesday. Okay, pray for me. Where was I? Okay, February calendar crates. So the other thing that I have, did I say that Winter Rose Manor was, I did, 1,000 stitches. Ugh. Okay, out of practice, this is what happens. This is February calendar crates from Stitching with the Housewives. They did a whole year of these. I'm not going to do all 12, but I have some of them done already. And I do want to get this one to a finish. So one more time, this is, I just realized I haven't done the small either, so I need to do the small. Ugh. All right. That won't take very long. I did work on this a little bit last month, but this is where I am at. I need to finish the jar and then do another one over here and then the crate, the words down there. No, it's not the end of the world if I don't finish. I will be motivated to finish this because February is coming, the love and stuff is coming. It's a great project for January. But again, I'd like to get this done. Get that blackout board. What I should do, because there's less time, is I can knock out Winter Rose Manor, because I'm just about to the big, I don't know, it's kind of like a vase or a floral arrangement basket thing. I'm just about to that, and I can knock it out. It's all one color. And then Votes for Women, because there's only, maybe 3 hours at most. And then I'll have his February calendar crates that will highly motivate me to finish this. Even though what I want to do now is stitch all Christmas. That will also bring me, okay, I need 4 more finishes. Oh no, neither one of those are finishes. It'll be 1 finish. So my other goal of maybe getting 52 finishes for the year. We'll see where I end up. This piece here, so that's my WIPGO. Ugh. I am so sorry, and I'm sorry for coughing, but if I keep stopping this, it's going to take forever. This is a bag I made. It's filled with all kinds of things. I am making all kinds of changes to this. This is Cross Stitch Nation. Where's my picture? I have notes like you would not believe. Okay, this is Cross Stitch Nation by Heartstring Samplery. I am changing the colors of the dresses, the colors of the hair, the colors of some of the skin. Actually, all the skin, because I don't think I used what they called for. And I'm making them match different creative people in my life. I almost just pulled out the actual chart to show you the chart. That's not what I want to do. This is on a piece of fabric flare, so it's white on one side and it's printed on the other. And I think it's historic beige, but I could be wrong. And this is where I am at. I think this... Okay, so I think there's 7. 4 of the 7 are done, except this one needs her needle and thread. I'm leaving out, several of them have thread, and I'm leaving that out until the end to do threads that kind of go through. And I haven't decided if I'm going to do one thread that kind of goes throughout the whole, one color thread that goes throughout the whole piece, or if I'm going to pull like her blue dress over here and her mint dress over here. So I may, whatever I think it needs when we get to that point. So this is Cross Stitch Nation. I may put that away to get other things done. But it is planned out. All right. And now for some of my fall whips and then some winter. I know that we are basically out of fall. It feels like winter with the snow and everything, but I do have some things that are close to being done. I kind of want to get them done. So there's that. This is Be Thankful by Country Cottage Needleworks. I forgot to take a picture so I could show where I started from in the No New Starts challenge. So then I just, and then I did like, I think I did all of the thankful without having recorded where I started. So I'm like, I can't count the stitches, and I got frustrated, so I just put it away. This is a color and cotton piece. It's called Old West Lugana. And something about this piece, I'm not sure if it's just because it's darker and it stayed in the dye a little bit longer. The holes seem a lot smaller. So I need, and it's, you know, a little bit darker and it's fall, so it's darker in the house. I need more light in order to work on this. So I can't just pull it out. I was putting it, I did have it in the car and I realized it was too dark for that. So, so it didn't get as much love as I wanted it to get, and I don't think I will work on it again this year either. Oh, it's sad to say that. Isn't that weird? But there's lots of things I need to get done. So this will be on the top of to do for next year, because this is something I think I should pull out in the summer, like in August, because you kind of have those, they're not really sunflowers or daisies, but it's kind of like that. And you've got white pumpkins. So it's fall, but it's not too Halloween-y, if that makes sense. So this may go away until next summer. We'll see. This is Good Company by Plum Street Samplers. Love this one. This is a really fun one to work on because it's a lot of fill-in. And I now really like the fill-in. I think it's the No New Starts challenge that did that for me. Come on, focus. Focus. Does not want to focus. There we go. I love this because of the barn star on the house. And the little fox. He's cute. Oops. Oh, there goes Oscar. getting well acquainted. A lot of people use Oscar, that color from Weeks Dye Works. It's not one I would gravitate towards, but it is a great fall green. So let's pull this board up. Look at that. I had just the star. I was gonna say starflower, but it's probably more like a sunflower. That's I think the only thing I had done previously, and I've worked on the house, added the little crow, added some of these leaves, and then I put 2022 in here. And I just want to talk about this for a second, because I know there's a lot of people out there that don't put the date in until they finish. But I'm of a mind of putting the date in when I start on it or when I get a lot of work done on it. So I will often put the date I started instead of the date, or the year I should say, that I started instead of the year I finished. It just depends on what's going on and what it feels more like to me. But I did go ahead and put 2022 in there. And the other reason I put a date in is just sometimes because that's where I am in the stitching. So I get to the stitching and I'll put it in and can count off of it from there. But I like the 2023. The other thing is to chart 2022 versus 2020 was what was on there, I think. I didn't start it in 2020. So, let's see. Yeah, 2020. 2022 was going to be an easier one. I didn't have to rechart. Really, I just copied the 2 again. And then I had to be aware of it, that I didn't count off of that 2 for the acorn or the leaves. So that was a lot easier than charting a 3, in my opinion. I could be done, but I didn't really want to. So you can also just leave it off. But I thought 2022 was fitting. And it's, even though fall is over, I will probably still keep this out, because I'm thinking I either get the top of it done, or if I get the entire house done on this piece. Sorry, I didn't realize I had it all the way down. If I get the entire house done on this piece, it really does feel like I got a lot done in 2022, if that makes sense. So I did start it. I don't think I will finish it this year, but stay tuned for my next video. You never know. Because this is on, I believe it's 25 count, either oatmeal Lugana from Lori Holt or vintage country mocha. Lugana, it's really easy to stitch on. After stitching on some of the smaller counts, it just seems to go fast because the holes seem bigger. And it has it's a soft fabric, but it has a little bit of, I don't want to say stiffness, but it holds its shape. And I've found that some fabrics are too soft, some fabrics are too stiff, and then there's just right. And that's one of those, just about right. This I hadn't done a lot on, but I wanted to share with you. I know that a couple of you chose this as, this is what you should work on next. And they were right. Autumn Leaves by Cherry Hill Stitchery. And I did not get as much done on this as I really, really should have. It's stitched on ivory, 28 count Lugana. I got it from Kitten Stitcher. I think it's just a regular Zweigart ivory. But I did get most of this top garland, I guess I could call it, done. And the biggest reason I didn't do more on this is it's a lot of color changes, so I don't get a lot of done for my stitching time, if that makes sense. And I was trying to complete the road trip on No New Starts. So let me talk about No New Starts for just a minute, because I keep mentioning it. No New Starts is a Facebook group. It started with what the name says, No New Starts. Their goal was to get progress done on the WIPs and not have a new start all year long until mid-December, where you can start things and prepare for the next year. Now, they opened up a couple of different avenues. One where you could just have one new start, you restart, you drop out of the No New Starts, but you're still in the Facebook group. And then they decided to do, I think, Work Your WIPs is what that's called, They had 22 and 22, which means you could choose 22 projects to work on it in 2022. You couldn't have a new start unless you had less than 22 before you started, so you had a free slot open, or you finished something and you could fill that slot with a new one that was the same size or smaller. Now, they have changed their name from No New Starts to WIP Warriors. Look down below. I will do my best to include a link. That's a little piece of cross-stitch cloth. They changed their name to WIP Warriors, and they have that it's going to be 23 and 23 instead of 22 and 22. They still have the No New Starts. They still have the Work Your WIPs, but they also have SWIWI, Stitch What You Want When You Want. So the acronym for that, is that the right word? Anyways, Stitch What You Want When You Want. I was just reading about it this morning. I've been so busy and focused on other things, I haven't had a chance to really look through it. So I am going to refer you to them. But right now, you can join. If you are thinking about it, if you've heard me talk about the No New Starts all year long, if you've heard me talk about the road trip with No New Starts, it's now called WIP, W-I-P, Warriors, and it's open, so you can join. And you'll see a post with all the rules, and you can decide if this is something you want to do. The main thing is to remain active and to not just start all the things, because it is a challenge to see your WIPs moving forward, to see progress being made. There are 2 or 3 album checks a year where they make sure that you're participating. And for me, I've participated in the main group a little bit, not a ton, but I have done the road trip, and I have gotten so much done. In fact, did I write it down on this page? No, I must have written it down here. For leg 4, which felt like the shortest leg, basically the premise is we're taking a road trip, visiting all of the local needlework shops in the US and probably Australia. Next year or the year after, depending on how long this thing goes. Or maybe they already did it last year and I wasn't in it last year. But for now, it's the local needlework shops this year in about half of the United States. And so you choose your ride. Are you going to be a tenter? Are you going to be in an RV? Are you going to be a hotel hopper or a jet setter? And your ride determines how many stitches you do for each stop. So you go so many miles to get to the next local needlework shop. You have to stitch that many stitches. And then you go to the shop, you let somebody know, they spin a wheel, and they give you basically something that you shopped for. So let's say you got floss. You have to do 50 stitches to pay for your floss. You don't actually get it. It's all virtual, but for some reason, it is so motivating. You can get badges along the way and collect pictures for your album. But mostly, it's getting me to have a lot of things finished. And in my end of year video, I will share just how many WIPs I finished. I'm keeping track of the stats. I like doing that. You don't have to do that. Obviously, you don't have to do anything. But this is what I do. My lights are flickering. That's not a good sign. But it has gotten me a lot more stitches into my WIPs, a lot more finishes and FFOs, and it's made some of the things that were tedious seem fun. So if I only need 50 stitches, that piece I just pulled out, which the autumn leaves, that's a great thing to just do one of the leaves, one of the little pumpkins to get my 50 stitches in. If I need 750 stitches, I'm going to want something like that house where I do a lot of fill-in. It goes fast and I feel like I've accomplished something. So I am excited to be able to do it again. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to with making samples for Shiplap Quilt Shop. It has changed things a little bit for me. I'm a little bit slower because I'm just working on whatever that is to get to a finish. But I'm still finding that balance. So I will probably either do 23 and 23, or I will do the stitch what you want when you want. I need to read more about what that is. I didn't fill all 22 of my slots this year. I obviously had more than 22 whips, but I didn't ever have more than 19 or 20 going at a time. Actually, I don't even think I had that many. I had that many slots, but I didn't have all those slots filled. So I don't really know what I'm going to do yet. I'm looking into that, but I do think I will continue on. I'm glad that they have that option. I am going to downgrade my ride because there's going to be times that I won't have as much time to work on things, just with the other things in life going on. In the end of October, I was asked to, by the Shiplap Quilt Shop and Coffee House in Tenino. I was asked by the owner, Gary, and his wife, Kristen. Gary asked me if I could work a couple of shifts in the shop. And so I've been making some samples for the shop. I've been making cross-stitch samples. I did a duffel bag, a couple of quilts, which have been quilted and long-armed and bound, and I can't wait to see them hanging up in the shop. I'll have to share a picture on Instagram for you guys. But then working a couple of shifts outside the house is not something I'm really used to. I work a lot from home, so it's been a little exhausting to start out with. And I started out with the longer hours with the training, and then they had their big holiday open house, and there's just a lot of people. And so I'm just finding that balance between working outside the home for a few hours, still keeping the home fires burning, keep working on my own small business things. And so cross-stitching has gone down a bit. So I think for the next year, I'm going to downgrade my ride. I was at Luxury RV, which I want to say it's averaging at least 1,000 stitches a week. Maybe more. Down to, I think it's Caravan, like the camper. Anywho, that doesn't matter. I'm sorry to ramble on about that, but I just thought I'd share where I'm at in case you are also a part of the No New Starts or WIP Warriors. Sorry, it's going to take me a while to get the name changed in my brain. If you're a part of that or if you want to join it. And I know a lot of you have asked about it. So look up WIP Warriors on Facebook. That's where the challenge takes place. Craft Addict has a Flosstube, so I'll link to her. I'm sure they've done videos about it. I just haven't been able to catch up on it. So I will try and do some research on that before or shortly after I post this video, and I'll add that if there's a possibility. So you may see a click link thing. You can check that out after my video, right? You're not bored yet, are you? Maybe you are. Maybe you were tired of hearing about all that, but hopefully you got some stitching done. All right, so for leg 4, I had 12,686 stitches. So that's just one leg. They did the check-in earlier. They did the check-in in November, and I wasn't quite able to make it there. It was that second week I was working, I think, or it was the week, that third week I was also gone, like half the week. We went to California and I didn't get hardly any stitching, and that's when they were announcing all the new things, and I just, I missed it. So I only got to 10,430 on that leg when the road trip officially ended, but me and my little OCD, I kept keeping track of the stitches. So for leg 4, I got 12,686, and now we're working on a different little challenge that you can join in on. So they've got some pre-road trip challenges that you can join in if you join, just to kind of see how things work. You get your questions answered and really just jump on in and do your stitches. If you don't count your stitches, I never did before this, you can track your time. And so 1 hour equals 100 stitches. I found that I was stitching more than 100 stitches an hour and wanted more credit for my stitches. Excuse me. So go ahead and check that one out. I'm pretty sure I will be joining it again. And if I can't keep up with it because of work stuff, then I won't. The goal is to hopefully get the cross stitch up and going at the shop, and possibly maybe even teach some classes out of the warehouse. So I'll be doing some beginner classes, possibly. I'll be doing, Gary was talking about maybe having some something set up there as far as a finishing class or maybe doing some videos and things. So we'll see where that goes, and I'll let you know when I know, because I don't really know. That might take away from some of my time. Okay, let's get on and see what else I have. That was a long detour. I apologize. This is way out of season. And I bring this up because I'll give you a little example. You have these different stitches you have to do, right? But then there's little things that pop up. So this is little things that pop up. A lot of things popping up on that last leg. And one of them was... It's one of the sightseeing. It was a dolphin kayak tour in Virginia. And it says, let's go kayaking with dolphins. If your WIP does not have either a dolphin, boat, or water, add 500 stitches to the total. And I was trying to get this done by leg 3. I'm like, there's no way I'm doing 500 stitches extra on top of the 300 or whatever it was I had to do for that leg. So I pulled out A Day at the Beach by Cottage Needleworks. You can see there is a ship. There is water. It meets the challenge. It is out of season. But I pulled it out. And it is kind of fun to pull those things out. Of course, once you do with 22 and 22 or 23 and 23, that WIP is in play for the rest of the year. And the only way to get it off is to finish it. So you have to keep that in mind. Sometimes it's worth doing an extra 500 stitches if you don't have room for another WIP to go on there, but I did. So I had that part completed. Basically what I did was this last part, I brought this out the rest of the way, added the little star, and started on the clouds and the sailboat. I do love this piece, and I was sad I didn't get more work done on it this summer, but this summer turned out different, as you know if you watch my videos, different than the plans for the summer. So it'll be here next summer as well. Again, I don't plan on this one is a finish. Well, I can still show it to you now. It doesn't have to be in order, right? This is Honeysuckle Manor by Blackbird Designs. I believe there are several different charts in here, and the one that I chose to do, I'll show you this picture of it, is this one right here. I can guarantee you it will not be finished like that. I don't have the box, I don't have the wherewithal. And I didn't use the right size fabric for it to be, or the right count of fabric for it to be on that either. But I did get it to a finish. I'm pretty sure it's on 28 count. It looks so big. Oh my goodness. But it's pretty. I have no idea how I'm going to finish this. But I have about half of that length of fabric left. I really liked this one. I really like the Blackbird Designs. I need to get back to the Blackbird weekend. I was doing that for a while, but I think with the No New Starts challenge and trying to keep up with that, it was difficult for me. So anyways, that project is done. There's more things in this book that I would like to do. Maybe for plans, I'll start. That's one of the fun things about planning out your year, especially if you want to do the No New Starts. A lot of people work on things the last couple of weeks in December and get as much as they can done, and then they've got all of those WIPs, because a WIP is 200 stitches or more. So the UPS lady just dropped off a package. It's beginning to look like Christmas. So totally forgot what I was saying. Oh, a lot of people will work on a bunch of WIPs. So I like looking through all my patterns. What do I want to do? One thing, if you are a seasonal stitcher like me and want to do No New Starts, and try just doing No New Starts and not starting anything new, one of the things I suggest and that I would do for myself, or will do for myself, is making sure I have things for every season, because I'm going to want to pull out. I don't have to add it to, you don't have to add it to your WIPGO board until you start stitching on it for the year. But once you do add it, it's on there, okay? But that was fine for me, because I work in mostly small and medium-sized projects, so I'm able to get them to finish. Obviously 48 finishes this year. One of the things I would put in there though is a few more, I need a few more any season, like that one I just showed. Honeysuckle Manor could go at any time, and more seasonal as well. So I didn't have a lot of fall started. I didn't have I don't think I had patriotic things very many started. So I would start some of those in season stitches, so that when we get to that season, if I want to, I can do it. And I already have things in kits. So for me, I like having kits. I like having the fabric and the floss all together and picked out. So it's just taking those kits and making starts out of them. All right. This one is a Country Winter by Plum Street Samplers. This is something I definitely want to work on in December and January. I got quite a little bit done on this, because I think I had one tree and part of that border done. Maybe I had two trees, I don't remember. But I got the other tree and I got the barn, and I moved over on the top here. I think I miscounted. Now that I look at this, I miscounted where I started the barn. So I actually have to rip this whole thing out and move it over. Yeah. Oh, that's why this is in timeout. What I need to do is just take a night and just sit there while the TV's on and pull out those stitches, so that it doesn't hold me up. Because if I have a whip that I know I have to pull stitches out before I can stitch more on it, I'm not going to want to stitch on it, right? So I need to just sit and take those out. All right, this is one of those project bags I made, Project Bag 2.0, that my friends Deborah and Terry encouraged me to do. We did it together. Well, I think I got one bag when we were together done. I still have my small bag to do. Don't listen, Deborah. Don't listen, Deb. I will get it done. But I've got this project in here. It is Winter House by Primrose Cottage Stitches. I want to do, there's at least 4 in this series, and I want to do all 4. This is on a piece of 14 count fabric flare, aqua dyed effects, and I'm using the weeks conversion. One things I like about Primrose Cottage Stitches is they have both the DMC and the overdyed. Actually, it has Weeks and Classic Colorworks and Gentle Arts and DMC. So all 4. Okay. It's not necessarily the best choice of fabric. This is going into the quilt shop, Shiplap quilt shop in Tenino. It'll be one of their display pieces, and I wanted to have a piece of fabric that we could get for the shop to carry, and that's why I chose the fabric flare. But some of them don't, I mean, you can see them, so I don't know. It kind of depends on the light. I need to take this, I work tomorrow, I work Tuesday. I need to take this in and see if I can see it in the shop. Because in real life, when I'm looking at it in person, I can see, but I don't, and this color is really close to it, but since it's inside the house itself, it's fine. What is really having a hard time showing up is these quilt blocks, and I'm thinking about taking, this is Blacksmith Blue in the windows. I'm thinking about outlining them. What do you think? If I were to do it over again, I would probably do it. I would take the white out of the outside. But also I'm trying to do it like the pattern has it, because if people are buying it in the shop, I don't want to make too many changes, because then I need to Then I need to write it out and spell it out for everybody. Because not everybody that works there is a cross stitcher, and not everybody that comes in knows what it is. And so I hate for them to get it and try and do it and go, well, that wasn't like I thought it was in the shop. So I try and keep that in mind when I'm working on these. This one is close to being done. So this one should be done in December. I have the snowbank underneath, the quilt, and the trees. A lot of fill-in stitching, so that goes pretty fast. The quilt will take a little, the quilt will take a little bit of time because there's just color changes. You've got the light and the dark, the white, and the, it's not black, it's really blacksmith blue, but the dark blue. So this is fun. This is going really quickly. And I think it's, yeah, 14 count Ada. So that's really easy to stitch on after going from the 32 count of some of them pieces to the 14 count Ada over one. That's really easy. Okay, what do we have here? This is not what I thought it was. This is Liberty Inn, so this is more of a, obviously you've got the flag, it's more of a patriotic thing, but because it's white and blue, it kind of reminds me of snow, and those stars remind me of snow. So this is something I'll be pulling out and working on in January, if not sooner. At least I plan on it. So I'll just show it here because I may pull it out sometime again in December. And this is on a piece of color and cotton driftwood. I love this color. Oh, did you guys see Color and Cotton is opening a new shop? Like a shop that you can go to. It's in Missouri. They'll have their, of course they'll have their fabric and floss, but they'll also have patterns and different things in the shop. So more and more I'm thinking I need to plan a vacation to Missouri. There's a few places I want to visit. That would be fun. And hopefully she'll come out here. You can come out here. Come to Shiplap Quilt Shop and get your stuff in the shop so that I can just go down the street or go to work and pick it up. Okay. I have two more finishes, and then I realized what I was pulling out. I had some plans that I was pulling out, or just different whips I wanted to show you. So this is my bag I finished. It's Stitch. Let me see if I can find. Must be in the other bag. So once again, Terry, the creative director at Shiplap, she tells us what samples to make and what to do for the shop. She asked if I had this, and I did. I already had this in my stash. This is Stitch by Shepherd's Bush, and I planned on doing all three of these, maybe doing the little pillow, the little, I don't know if I'll put it on scissor fob or just use it as a little tiny pillow, but also the bag. And so I got Stitch and Terry got Quilt. So this is a picture of what the quilt one looks like. She's doing the quilt. I will do the quilt too eventually, but I was doing Stitch, one for the shop and one for me. And I learned something. Terry actually said, are you using the Purl 5? I'm like, what? So on the pattern, I can't show you because you'll be able to see the stitches, but it gives you the floss requirements, and you can do them in the regular cotton, especially if you're working on regular Lugana, linen, Ada. But if you want to stitch on these bags, it's So Emma bags. This is the mint. She suggests, and I agree, that you use Purl 5. Well, I've heard of Purl 5 DMC, but there is Purl 5 Weeks Dye Works. There's a few companies that make Purl 5. So it's a thicker thread. which is great for these big old holes that you have. I just hit myself in the face. These big old holes that you have. And let me show you a couple of things I have in here. So this is the Weeks Die Works. It comes just like the other Weeks Die Works, but it's a lot thicker. And then I found these. This is actually cotton pearl 8. I found this at Hobby Lobby. So this is not quite, pearl 8 is not as thick as pearl 5, but it will work. I prefer the pearl 5. So if you can find that, I actually ordered mine through Hobby House Needleworks there in New York. Another road trip I want, well, I'll probably fly. I want to go to Hobby House Needleworks in New York really bad. I've heard wonderful things about it. But this is my little stitch bag. Isn't it cute? I had enough to do this bag and almost enough to do this bag. So I actually have 2. I ran out of Purple Haze. So if you see, Purple Haze is the Weeks Die Works color that the SIH is. This is how much I have left. It was just half of this down and around. That's all I needed to finish, and I ran out. So I placed another order. It just came in. Actually, I think it came in the mail Saturday, but I didn't pick up the mail Saturday. So I got it last night. And I was playing with my long arm yesterday. I hadn't worked on it in 2 or 3 months. So it was brand new and I had too much to do to work on it. And so I kind of forgot everything. And one of the things I forgot was to move my finger out of the way. So I actually stuck a needle through my finger a little bit right by my nail. It hurts. So I couldn't work on this last night, but it's doing better today. I hopefully work on it tonight, because then this will be a finish. So my 2 bags, I've got this one finished and this one. This one's for the shop. This one was my own bag and my own everything. But this one's for the shop, and I only used one length of, I think I'll only use 1 or 2 lengths of thread. So when I'm done, I'll give the leftovers to Terry, and that should be enough for her to do her whole bag. Because one thing was enough to almost do 2 bags, one skein of each of those. So if you want to make multiples, and see this, is this the same? No. So some of it, I used what I had, like what I could find locally and what I ordered online. And then when I went to go order this, I ordered some of the rest of the things that I needed for the quilt. So, because I wanted to, again, this will be in the shop, the shiplap shop. So I wanted things that could be ordered and used, and not just obscure things I might find and not know the name of, if that makes sense. So anyways, those are my 2 project bags. One is almost done. And then I thought about doing a bunch of patterns, Christmas patterns. But now that I've been talking this long, I'm thinking y'all might be tired of just listening to me. Because I was going to go through all of my whips and pull out my Christmas things. But I think I'll just wait for the whip parade. If that's something you would like to see, leave me a comment down below. And if I have time next week, I will just do a Christmas whip and patterns and show those. If that's something you're interested in, let me know. I can do that. Maybe. I mean, if I have the time, I can do that. But anyways, this is Winter Fling by LuHu Stitches. This is one I really want to do. And I've got a measly little start. I think this is one of those ones I did on New Year's Eve last year, just to have it in my whip so I could add it to the No New Starts challenge if I wanted. Because in my mind, I wasn't going to add anything that wasn't already a whip. Even though I was only claiming one at a time, and I didn't claim all of my whips until I started working on them. I wanted it to already be something in progress. So what, I don't even know what's in here. Oh, I do know what's in here. This is the little Doodles Winter by Heart in Hand. I love that box. I like the colors of this too. So this is all kitted up. I don't have it started. I think this is the same fabric that the other one was in, because I think they were originally the same bag. So that's all kitted up and ready to go. And then I thought I had, oh, this is a whip that has been on my board, but I haven't pulled it out in a while. There are these series that Country Cottage Needleworks and Little House Needleworks put out separately. And I've got a few of them and just decided for this year I'd pulled out the Glitter House series. And I think next year I want to do the Little Sheep Virtues. So that may be my Little House Needleworks next after I get done with this. But I've got the whole Glitter House series. There are 9, I think. Here's something else. If you're like me and you start something on a higher count fabric, then it's comfortable for you to work with. Don't necessarily throw it out. Keep working on your other things and come back to it. It may be easier to work on in the summer where there's more natural light, or you may get better over time, or you may just decide this pile is going to be a UFO, an unfinished object. This is never being finished. So I got 2 of the houses done and just barely started on the 3rd house. This is something that I will definitely put some stitches in. Probably. I've got the little needle binder that matches the pink house. So anyways, I have this. This one's hard for me because it's a 32 count raw silver Belfast linen. The sparkle makes it harder for me to see the holes. And I think it's just a problem with getting older. It's also a very soft fabric. So I need to use a hoop or a Q-snap when I work on this. I need to remember that. Because it's the fact that it's so soft, kind of flimsy. It's not soft, like, it's just flimsy. The fact that it's so flimsy. Plus, it's a little bit smaller count. I know people are doing 50 count. I'm not there. Or 56 count or whatever it is that they can do. I you know, I can barely do 32. And then adding in the sparkle with it, and it's a linen, so it's a looser weave. Ugh, I struggle. But I think it's so pretty that I really do want to get it done. All right, those are all of my whips and finishes. I talked a little bit about my shiplap job, so I am working in the shop a couple hours, and it's funny, Terry said, you're holding out on me, and I'm like, yeah, like 2 minutes, because he just asked me 2 minutes ago, and then I said yes, and then he posted to the group, Heather's joining our team. I'm like, okay, I guess I really did say yes. All right, I wanted to share a couple of FFOs with you. And the first 2 were in the shop. I'm holding on to it now. This one, I don't know if I was able to share. This tag just has my information, so I'm doing this at the shop. If you happen to go in, I try and put tags, either one of the library tags that Lori Holt has, and or one of these tags on there that tell you the name of the pattern, who it's by, the stitch count, the fabric I used, I mean like 28 count Sandcastles, what I use for this, and any other information. So if you wanted to do this yourself, like I'll put in color changes sometimes. This is my fall, so this is going to be going away in my fall basket. And this, we're waiting for more of the patterns to come in. They sold out of the patterns, but this is the Lori Holt You Are the Boss cross stitch, and I used it just, I think just all of the called for everything. And then I finished it with some of the Lori Holt trim here. Lori Holt I think it's a B Basics line, her fabric, and then some more of her vintage trim. And then this is a wooden, it's kind of a tray, and it's got these. I actually did it upside down. Like, I was trying to pay attention to that. I did it upside down, but it's okay because it just sits on the shelf when it's at the shop. But it's a tray that was just natural wood, and I painted it white. And I think I took it to the shop before I was able to show it in person. So that's one of the reasons I want to show this to you now. It will go back to the shop as soon as that pattern, more of those patterns come in. Because people see it and go, where's that pattern? Ah, it's not there. This was a, I think it was kind of a mystery stitch along. It was mystery stitch along last December. It's called the Cookie Exchange. It was put on by Hands On Design, and she collaborated with some other people for, like, Lady Dot Creates for the trim, and I think Fabrics by Stephanie was who did the fabric, and then the finishing board. Anyways, it's now available for purchase. The pattern, the rest of the things are no longer available, I'm pretty darn sure. I did not use the mystery fabric because I couldn't wait for it to come in, and I didn't realize when I placed my order, I ordered other things, and so I had to wait my turn, right, for everything to come in. So, but I used a similar cloth, I think from Be Stitch Me, and this is my finish. It's on the paddle board that I purchased. It's kind of, my shirt is conflicting. It's on the paddle board. It was painted red by them. I added some striped fabric on press-on boards for both of these. I added this cute little rolling pin. I think I got that from Hobby Lobby. And a little gingerbread button, some gingham ribbon, and this trim, these two trims, the rickrack, are from Lady Dot Creates, part of that kit. So I think that this bow came on a Fat Quarter Shop Stitch Quarterly or something, because they were doing that kind of ribbon on all the things, and I kept it. So this goes in my kitchen. Isn't it cute? I did change a few things. I think this was a stack of cookies in the cloche, and I made a gingerbread because that's part of our Christmas traditions. I changed the color of the table to more match my mom's kitchen table that my grandpa gave to her. It's a very special thing in our family, so I just kind of made it match mom's a little bit more. I used this cookie cutter to do the shape of the gingerbread and then just colored him in. And I can't remember what other changes I may have made, but really stinking cute. And I pulled that out today. I'm going to go put it in my kitchen, so I wanted to share it with you. And then behind me, let me just grab that. So this is Let It Snow by Stitching with the Housewives. I stitched it on, oh wait, library cards, great idea. It's 14 Count Night Sky Ada by Fiber on a Whim. It's a nice dark navy blue with a little bit of modeling. You can kind of see where it's lighter here than it is here. Just subtle, but beautiful, I think, for the snowy piece. I think it would work great for any snowy piece. I love it so much. I took one of those pieces from Hobby Lobby or Craft Warehouse, and I don't even remember what was in this frame, but I loved it because it had these beads on it that were already colored in the kind of snowy look. I added a little snowman to the top, a little torn piece of batik fabric in a bow, some buttons, and some rickrack. And so I love this. Oh, I heard somebody here. And then the last two things I want to show you as far as decor, and then I'll get into my haul and then I'll be done, is this past weekend, I I love shopping local and shopping small. If you have little shops in your community or the communities nearby, I highly encourage you to go and shop if you can, because supporting those small businesses just makes a world of difference, and they're able to then put it back into the community, hire people who are local, and you can really help a family that is in your area make a huge impact. And I understand we all buy from the big box stores because it's just sometimes easier and cheaper and all that, and convenient to get in and out. But if you can support small businesses, especially this time of year, you make a huge impact on their lives. So I do try, although it's hard sometimes to get out and do that. This past weekend, it's called Country Chicks something. And they have it out the fairgrounds, the Lewis County Fairgrounds. They have it, I think, 3 times a year there. And then they said 2 times a year in Enumclaw. And so it's one of the things I wanted to do. Also, and so I picked up a couple of things and I wanted to share with you. And then also my friend Tammy owns French Toast and Company Mercantile. It's in Centralia. She's going to be open, I think, every weekend in December. And then Primrose Primitives is also a little further down or a little further up, depending on which way you want to say it, in Centralia, downtown Centralia. And that's where I bought my hutch for my sewing room. But she's got lots of handmade different decor items, different wood items, as well as just little gifts and things. So lots of cute Christmas things. French Toast and Company, they've decked out for Christmas. It looked like a vintage holiday with it had some bottle brush trees and just really cute decorating ideas. I got a sleigh, it's on the table. I actually got some things that I'm giving as gifts for the holiday party, and I probably should have brought them in, but I was afraid someone from work might be watching this and see it, so I didn't bring very much in. But she had like these old looking sleighs, and then put little doodads, knickknacks and things in there, little, like I said, bottle brush trees, or you could put candles or snow or candy. She has a local baker made, which I guess was on HGTV. I totally missed it. So I'll have to go in and find out more about it. But she made a custom cookie recipe, French toast, for the French Toast & Co. Mercantile. So I got a couple of those. I need to get more for Christmas and put it in my boys' stockings. They love French toast. So just supporting the local. So I just want to show you a couple of things I got from the Country Chicks. And because I think that's good ideas for cross stitchers that you guys could use. Or if you are a card maker, because I did start with my channel with mostly paper crafts. One of the things they did was they took this little tag and they stamped Merry Christmas on it, distressed it, and then inked the price, which I thought was kind of a cute little way of doing it. They took an embroidery hoop or a cross stitch hoop, did the ticking fabric, and then put a wooden, it's Joy. She actually glued it or put glue all over it and then glittered it. I think she painted it white, glued it. But you can also look at Hobby Lobby and Michael's and see if you can find something that says Joy or Mary or one of those types of things already pre-done for you. And then a little bit of greenery on top and strung the beads on there. I just think this is so, so cute. And I'm like, I could make that myself, but you know what? It's already done. I'm not going to get it made before Christmas. But I did think it was a cute idea. And then this one was from a different little shop, and they took a little piece of wood, they painted it white, and then they took a dowel, and I'm not sure, I'm not sure what they use for the tree form, because it may be a wooden tree form, but it feels lighter than wood. If it is wood, it's a really light wood. And then they just took that chenille trim. So if you have some of that trim, for your cross stitching finishes or whatever. It's just the chenille trim wrapped around a triangle shape, and then they added a bow and a dowel. Super, super cute. I planned on giving this away, but I may have to keep this. This is just too cute. But two different ideas I thought you could make yourself if you want, if you're looking for gift ideas to make. Or, like I said, head out to the nearest bazaar or market or local shop and see what they have, because a lot of them do have Christmas decor items out. Okay. Let me clear all this and I'll share my haul with you, and then I will let you go and rest my voice. All right, I'm going to go a little bit in reverse order because I just got my order. Well, I got more than one order from Fat Quarter Shop. Mostly what I got is fabric related, but I got a notification. It could be because I'm in the Stitch Quarterly cross stitch thing, or so Sampler or whatever, that you could jump on the mystery Fat Quarter, or you could jump on the Black Friday deals early, including the mystery Black Friday grab bag. So one of the things that I ordered, they have lots of great sales too, was another one of these bags, because I think I want to do the quilt on this gray gingham. That stitch, oh, where did it go? It's at the bottom of the pile. Hold on. Okay, I have Stitch, but I also have the quilt from Shepherd's Bush. I think I want to do it on the gray gingham, and I think it was on sale, so I picked that up. I should keep this separate here. I think this was a Black Friday thing. I also got this from them, and cookie cutter ornaments and the floss, or it could have been something that was included in there. I can't even remember. They had so many deals going on. The mystery bag, in case you were curious, and I'm not sure if they're all the same or if they're different, but I got, it's a mixture of cross stitch and quilting, which I like that they did both in there. This is a little project bag you could use for either one, but I like those for small cross stitches. A needle minder. Prairie Days. This is a charm pack. Fun, fun, fun. 3.5 inch square in a square, which is great because I have some projects I want to make coming up that use square in a square. I've been wanting these, but not wanting to spend the money on them, so this is Need a Little Love. It's a little magnetic case, so it opens up and you can keep your needles in there. Great thing to just drop in your project bag. And then this is Vintage Strawberries Mini Cutting Mat from Fig Tree and Company. So it's either reversible or there's two different mats in the peach and the green. So definitely worth it. Definitely use most of these things. But grab bag items too are things you can give as gifts if you have other stitchers in your life. Okay, next up, this is an order I placed a while ago from Evertote, but they're in Canada, so it took a little bit for them to get to me. It's Leo and Roxy Floss Co. hand-dyed Ada in the color Pantone. That's how it's spelled. Like Pantone, but it does not spell like Pantone. Pantone. Panet? I don't know. Sorry. Butchering that. I'm really sorry, Leo and Roxy Flosco. The other one is an even weave 28 count dirty porcelain. So here we go, all the way from Canada. This is the Pantone 16 count. Nice big fat quarter. It is difficult to find a good brown, so this is a good brown. It's not, that's the color right there. got nice modeling, not too much, but enough that you can see it. Love it. And then, but it is very stiff. This is very soft. This is very stiff. Interesting. But it is Aida versus Lugana. It says linen Aida, but it's Lugana. This is 28 count dirty porcelain. Let me show it to you like, oh yeah, isn't that a great, just a great neutral. Not quite white. It's definitely not the yellow cream. It's more of a brown, more of a beige. It's not showing up right. Let's try this. That's pretty close. I think the red in my shirt's just changing the color a bit, but very, very subtle modeling. So I'm very happy with that. Definitely worth the wait. And then I got my color and cotton shipment. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Were there 2 shipments? Oh. No, you know what it is? So if you're a member of the Color and Cotton Floss or Fabric Club, which they have had some openings recently, get on their notify me list and they will let you know if there are any openings available, if things do open up, or they might have something available now. Definitely check out. I love Color and Cotton. Cannot recommend them enough. Although I have to admit, I'm not using their floss as much. I need more floss ideas, I think. But maybe it's also because I've been doing the no new starts, so I haven't been pulling floss. But this is the November. Definitely got those old Christmas vibes going on with a red, a green, gold, and browns. A little bit of black. Chimney sweep. You know, you got to have a little black for Santa's, or Frosty's hat. I guess Santa's boots and buckles, too. And then I got some extra floss in colors that were some, I don't think any of these, or maybe the red was included, but limited edition. So what you can do is you can go online, and if you're in the club, there's a special code that you can put in there for shipping, and you can have it shipped all at once. So you don't have to pay shipping over and over again. You just have to wait until the club order ships, and they'll ship all at once for one shipping price. I really appreciate that because a lot of times I can wait. If not, you can just pay the shipping. Oh, here's one more. Well, those are pretty, aren't they? Oof, love it. Love this. Okay, I'm going to save. Oh, I don't know. I love both of those. One of those is October. This is November. What is it? A sampler. A sampler. I thought it was an exemplar, but that's not what it is. Okay, this is a 28 count. Perfect neutral. Angela knows how to do neutral. She is a whiz at it. It's a brown. It's definitely lighter than that Aida. It's like a lighter, so you can see that's the Aida with this. Yeah, just a perfect neutral. Great for all the fall stitching. And then Nantucket. Love the Nantucket. I'll take it out. This was October. But I don't think I shared my October with you. Or maybe I did and it's just got put in there. Oh, you know what this is? This is a 1/8 yard. So this was extra. Yeah, because it's not a fat quarter. So it's just, she has, if there's extra, she does sometimes different extra ones or grab bags. So that was another one I got and just had it wait to ship because I loved the Nantucket so much. And then this is another November and it's 28 count. So the other thing I was in, I think it was, can't remember the name of the colored version, but there was a color collection, and then there's a, but I don't think it's not a bright, it's just, I can't remember what it's called. And then there's a neutrals collection. So the one that was more colorful was 28 count Lugana, and the one that was more neutral is 32 count Lugana. And I asked her if I could change to 28 count Lugana because I'm doing so many shop samples now. 32 count takes me a long time to stitch, way too long to be doing shop samples with. So, and my time for my own stitching has been cut down. So I asked if I could switch it over, and she had no problem with that. In fact, it was easier for her, I think, because I think 32 count Lugana has been difficult. So this is Sea Glass. That color is not showing up as wonderful as it is, but it obviously was made for this room. Like, I think she was thinking about me and said, yeah, Heather needs some more stitching to go in that room, so let's do Sea Glass. Sea Glass. Yeah, I love it. You knew I would. So that is my colorful. And the thing is that even though it's colorful, it still could be considered a neutral, if that makes sense. Her colors are so great. They work with so many different fabrics. I mean, different patterns. All right. I'm getting tired, you guys. This is quite the workout. I have some. I think I need to do a giveaway. Oh, okay. So a couple of things. Because I know I have more than one of these cookie cutter ornaments. One was gifted to me. One I bought, and I may even have a third one that was part, because I thought I had one in a different box. So I'm not sure if I have two of these ornament things. My goal is to stitch them up. I'll probably change the colors and stitch them up and do something for a little Christmas tree, either in here or in the shop. But I also, in the same order, I think I just clicked it twice. I got two of these. So this will be given away. What it is, it's Sunflower Sampler from Cecilia Turner, Heart in Hand. And it comes with the linen and the little bird. And it may or may not even stitch on that linen. But you have to buy it as this little kit. And I accidentally bought two of them, plus the floss for one of them. I don't know. And my friends want to stitch this because now we're out of season. So, yeah. I don't know. I need to be giving some things away, I think. Okay, so there's that. That's my big whoopsie. And then these are some patterns that I got. This is Samplings number 2 by Brenda Gervais with I Needle and Thread. I have Samplings number 1. Actually, I think I have 2 of the number 1s on accident instead of a number 2. So I went ahead and got the number 2. This has the alphabet in blue. It's on a linen. I think it's printed on a linen. But it's so you can finish it. See this one? You can do 1 stitched, and then you could do 2 that aren't stitched, if that makes sense. So I have Samplings number 2. These were on a deeply discounted sale. This might have been from Fat Quarter Shop. It is. And that was the Plum Street Samplers Noah's Ark. I want to do several of these Noah Ark things. This is number 5. I want to do the sheep because of the sheep on Great Grandpa's property. I don't know what the others are. Hyenas. I don't know that I have any desire to do hyenas. But they're on there, so. This is Noah's Ark 4. This has pandas and parrots, although they kind of look like cardinals to me. I want to do both. Look at that. The little pandas are holding the candy cane. Sorry. There we go. Love that. All of my wonderful fabric is slipping, so I'm going to put it in this box behind me. Now I get to put it all away. Gosh, I am running out of room too. my storage. I'm gonna have to buy less. Okay, this I just showed you. Either that or I bought 2 of those. This is Noah's Ark 2. Doves and honeybees. I really like the doves. I also have a connection to honeybees. Honeybees are another thing that are out on my grandpa's ranch now. There's a company that they collect the honey, but what they do is they have hives, and they all in several different states. They have them in California, Montana, and Hawaii at minimum. But what they do is out at grandpa's property, they put out these little like hive boxes to attract new queens, and they put them out in the orchards, and it's a whole system they've done. My dad took me around. It was really interesting because they put out different landmarks so the bees can find their own hives. So there'll be piles of brush or twigs or a log or something that they'll place, and then they place the little hive things, little boxes, in different patterns with different colors. And so the bees that make the honey that we get from this company actually start out their queens on my great-grandpa's property. So that's pretty cool. So I have this attraction to bees. I don't really think of them as a summer thing. I could see stitching that and just leaving out the snow, maybe not. It might also be a fun little ornament to make for my cousins because of that ranch story. I hope I'm not talking too much. I like hearing about other people's lives, and so I don't know if I'm sharing too much or not. Okay, this one is Noah's Ark 7, Llamas and Lovebirds. I really liked the little lovebirds. This could make a cute little wedding shower type of a gift as well. It doesn't have to be Christmassy. They aren't really Christmassy. Okay, so those were all of the Noah's Ark sets that I got. And this is Bird in Hand Winter by Heart in Hand. And this is a list of all of the things I need to get. There's a lot of different floss in this. Okay. And then this is Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. I've seen lots of Pansy Patch quilts and stitchery patterns that I like, but this one really got me. This is Trimming the Tree with the snowman, the cardinal, the little bird on his branch arm, and of course having the quilt block on his tummy just did me in. So this is one I would really like to start soon. That's it. That's a lot for a month. Plans moving forward. Like I said, I'm going to look at what I have done over the last year, what I want to accomplish in the rest of the year. We've got Christmas. I need to decorate. This is just about all the decorating I've done. And this was just today, and it's not quite, it is what it is. I want to make some goals for 2023. I need to look over the Whip Warrior challenge and see what all is entailed in starting that. I want to look through all of my whips and share them with you. I also want to look at my patterns and see which ones I might want to start, and maybe put together a plan for the week after Christmas to kind of just having a start all the things week instead of just doing it on New Year's Eve. I think I'll take the week and do it because I don't know when I'll be working or what else might be going on in the family. So that is a lot, but that is all that I have for you this week. I hope that you guys have enjoyed spending a little bit of time with me. I hope that you guys are getting a lot of stitching done yourselves, enjoying family time, staying well, staying healthy, staying safe and dry. And I will see you in my next video. Let me know down below what you've been stitching on. And if you would like to see more of what I kind of just did at the end, showing close to the end, where I showed you my WIPs that I have in progress, or kits or patterns that I want to start for the season. So if you're kind of looking for some seasonal ideas or some ideas to maybe have Santa put under your tree, I could put together, maybe if I have time, put together a little video of that. But let me know if that's something you even want me to spend my time on. So for now, I'll just say goodbye and Merry Christmas.